I think he certainly, just off the cuff, he's certainly the top 5 of all time. But playing against him and MJ, I think for me it's MJ all day long, only because how I played against him, and MJ just had everything, from mid-range to 3-point to post-up game, and he could score and dominate in each position. LeBron is dominant. LeBron could do so many things on the floor. And
do you think LeBron's a better all-around player than Jordan?
It's hard. That's hard to say because LeBron is probably one of the best passers that the league has seen. MJ is that's probably the weakest part of his game. He didn't pass a lot, but at the same time, MJ didn't have any other weaknesses in his game. And defensively, he was a two-way player. Defensively, he was incredible and just as dominant.
Well, I still look at LeBron, a better rebounder, better passer. Mike was not shooting a 3 back then. He would have developed into
he still could shoot it, though.
Yeah, but LeBron has turned into at least a dangerous 3-point shooter. Like you have to account for him when he takes those shots. But the personality, though, is, I think, the biggest difference. Because Mike wanted to kill you. Mm-hmm. Was he mean to you?
No, he wasn't. He actually killed me slowly. And yeah, he would comment to the coach, he's actually doing a great job out here. And meanwhile, he's pouring in 45.
Wait, he's talking to your coaches?
Yeah, I remember Chris Ford, he's yelling at me. Chris Ford's yelling the whole time, like, rookie, get in front of him, get in front of him. And I'm fronting him on the post, and MJ just kind of slowly glides across the floor, and he gets the ball and shakes and scores. And I did everything the game plan said, and then there's a break in action. We're sitting there, and Chris Ford is just down there just hammering me, and MJ was like, he's doing a great job, coach. He's actually doing a great job. Meanwhile, he's got 45 on the books. So I was like, yeah.
Did you think that Mike didn't want you taken out because he had 45 in the books? Like he wanted you to guard him?
No, I honestly believe that he didn't think that anybody could stop him. He could score whenever he wanted to score, wherever he wanted to score. So it didn't matter what I did out on the floor. He was going to get his touches. He was going to get his points.
More unstoppable, though, when they get that mindset, Michael or Kobe?
Certainly Michael.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Kobe put up 81.
Yeah, that was a bad Toronto defense at the time. I remember
it's still 81, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a marvelous
He had 60
feat.
in his last game he played.
Yeah, it was a marvelous feat. It's hard to really compare the generations. If you look at what MJ did during his era, like I played in between both those eras, and the rules were totally different. Like you can't touch a guy now. A guy will go to the free throw line 20, 25 times a game just off of ticky-tack stuff.
Let's start with a moment most debates tiptoe around. The feeling on the floor when you're standing in front of Michael Jordan. Ray Allen, a cold-blooded marksman, a champion who faced both Jordan and LeBron, once said he felt like he was being killed slowly. Jordan leaned over to the opposing coach, murmured, "He's doing a good job," and then calmly hung 45 on his head. No chest beating, no theatrics, just a man walking through defensive brick walls as if gravity itself stepped aside. Asked how Jordan would fare today under offense-friendly rules, hands-off perimeter defense, and a turbo pace, Allen smiled. 45 a night, easy. That answer isn't a breeze passing by. It's the echo of a shooter who stood in the Jordan storm and can still hear the wind howling around the rim. That is the spark. From there, we go straight to the spine of the argument. Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Who is the GOAT? The question seems old, but every time you touch it, it catches fire again. Because here, we're not merely comparing spreadsheets. We're taking the pulse of do-or-die moments, measuring whether your hands tremble before destiny, weighing the force of a gaze that makes an arena hold its breath. To keep the story seamless, I stitched the Ray Allen spark to the score of an entire career, the script that already exists. Jordan as a returning storm that, somehow, never gets old. Track the milestones. 50-plus playoff games, outpacing legends combined. a mountain of 40-plus nights. The absurd reality that he logged more 40-point games than sub-20 games across his career. These aren't trophies in a glass case. They're the fingerprints of a monarch ruling the hours when it matters most. To be fair to LeBron, he is an impossibly complete machine, unnatural longevity, clairvoyant passing vision, a body forged seemingly from titanium. LeBron is a point forward who bends a defense with a single seam, splitting pass, rebounds, creates, and scores at historic volume for nearly 2 decades. If you want the widest canvas, LeBron paints like a master. But when your season needs a blade that never dulls one slash that splits the game's artery, you don't reach for an operating system, you reach for a knife. Jordan is that knife. Now, slow the camera. Look at Jordan from the roots. Evolution. He wasn't born with every line already carved. From the high school cut to the NCAA levitation that froze Patrick Ewing's heart. From the early NBA superathlete, sprinting headlong into forests of arms to the footwork, post-game, and tempo control of a surgeon, Jordan never stopped upgrading. When the Bulls needed a point guard, he toggled over and delivered 10 triple-doubles in 11 games, averaging roughly 30-11, 9.5. That was a reminder. If Jordan wants to pass, he passes. If he wants to command space, he commands it. And if the team needs a coffin nail, he becomes the hammer. From 1,991 to 1,996, Jordan strung together 13 straight playoff series at 30-plus per game. Not just a scoring stat, but a metronome of nerve in a jungle of grabs, elbows, and body checks that were simply called good defense. He closed 2 three-peats 1991, 93, and 1996-98, ending with 6 for 6-inch the finals, 6 finals MVPs, and 1 truth. When the sky collapsed, people ran to Jordan like they were gasping for oxygen. Don't forget the moon's dark side. Jordan failed 2 years of smashing into Detroit's wall. The 1,995 return with legs not yet lit, falling to the bigger, fresher Orlando. That failure triggered the final upgrade. More muscle, more patience. And the triangle of Phil Jackson and Tex Winter, clicking with Pippen, Rodman, Kerr, Harper, Kukoc. The result was 72-10, and a team perched atop both offense and defense, a rarity like a total solar eclipse. On defense, the part often hidden behind the fadeaway Jordan was the headwind you didn't see but couldn't breathe through. 9. All defensive first teams. A Defensive Player of the Year award in an MVP season, in the most blocks ever by a guard, and 6 years with 200-plus steals. He didn't win with points alone. He choked out your pace from the free throw line to the sideline. As for cold heart, what people call clutch, Jordan buried 28 game winners, 7 of them in the playoffs. That's a place you can't fake. 20,000 lungs exhaling pressure, millions of eyes behind screens, and a clock with a knife's edge. Jordan inhaled there. People say clutch is narrative bias. Then explain why every time Jordan rose up, the life of an entire city seemed to move to the rhythm in his hands. But don't let this shrink into a pile of records lying still. What separates Jordan from a sea of immortals isn't just what he did, it's when and how he did it. When the media said he couldn't shoot threes, he drained 6.5 of the finals and shrugged. When the world said Clyde was closing the gap, he snapped the argument in one opening quarter. When Barkley won MVP, Jordan answered with 41 per game in the finals, yet still kicked the last dagger to Paxson. When sick, he grabbed a water bottle and dropped 38. When it was time to end a dynasty, he didn't wait for a bell. He rang it himself, one last shot in Utah, freezing history in place. Now we talk about Jordan's greatest rival in the public imagination, LeBron James. Without Jordan, LeBron's myth is plenty to erect a monument. 10 finals trips, 4 rings, longevity records, and a basketball brain that drafts the blueprint and runs the crane. He's the architect and the foreman, the scaffolding and the lift. No one disputes this. But the GOAT question doesn't live in beautiful totals. It lives at the event horizon, the instant you face impermanence and must choose between good enough and absolute. Here, Jordan chose absolute and paid every cent due. Context matters, or any comparison gets warped. Jordan's era was one where a forearm across your face might be called physical play. A time when tactical fouls weren't wrapped in the sterile packaging of the word flagrant. A time when driving to the rim was answering the question, "Are you sure?" Ray Allen put it plainly. Back then, if you flopped, they'd give you a real reason to fall. That was the liquid Jordan swam in. He didn't ask the pool to be warmed. He learned to breathe underwater. That doesn't diminish LeBron, if anything. It clarifies the difference. LeBron is the world's greatest sculler on flat water. Jordan is the deep diver mapping a seabed being torn apart. Different gifts. But if the question is who made opponents want to go to bed early or never sleep again, who made opposing coaches pause mid-scream to mutter, "He's doing a good job," while the scoreboard caught fire, then Jordan is the gold standard of psychic pressure. Here's where some people play the teammates card. Pippen, Rodman, Kerr, the triangle. True basketball is a team sport. But flip the question. Who is the oak in the forest wherever he stands? The shade gathers across nearly his entire peak. Jordan was the league's son, not for a season but for a string of years, a ruthless monopoly. LeBron? He threaded multiple eras, adapting at lightning speed, but also navigated a finals landscape crowded with super teams, clustering and dissolving. When you stack 6-0 against many trips but not always a win, you're really comparing a sandstorm that rewrites the desert to a monsoon that returns every year. Both are colossal. Only one leaves a new geography. One more point, and perhaps the one you can't digitize. Jordan changed the rules of the game. Not just the NBA's rules, but the rules of culture. From how a kid ties his laces to how a company tells its brand story, Jordan became a language. You can match someone's wins or numbers, but becoming a language, having your leap define flight, that's a summit with exactly one footprint. Jordan wasn't born a myth. He was carved, gradually, with bloody noses, tears, and the whiplash of Detroit. The shot over Cleveland wasn't just a make. It was the first rendezvous in a lifelong relationship between Jordan and destiny, a standing appointment he kept, on time, again and again. Think May 7, 1989, down 1, 3 seconds, catch over Elo, hang, release, silence, and before that legend calcified. There was the 20th of April, 1986 63-inch Boston Garden against Bird's 2086 Celtics, a playoff record planted in the most hostile soil. From these opening chapters, the pattern is clear. When the lights insist on blinking, Jordan flips the switch himself, and once the lights stayed on, something subtler took over the craft that would shape how he killed games. Not just that he killed them. The triangle didn't turn Jordan into someone new. It gave him an instrument worthy of him. Without over-dribbling, he teleported to kill Spot's elbow, low post, the nail turning every touch into a two-step equation, plant finish. The fadeaway was a postage stamp on a sealed letter. You didn't need to read it to know what it said. 1991 Finals, Game 2. The mid-air switch hands layup that bent the series against the Lakers. 1993 Finals, Game 6. The five-man swing that ends with Paxson's dagger at 9 seconds. The system made inevitability feel routine. And when routine is that ruthless, the next question becomes obvious. How do you stop him? You don't unless you can live inside every possession with the same ferocity he brings to the last one. 9 all-defensive first teams. A DPOY in 2088, 893 career blocks as a guard, and 6 seasons cresting 200 steals. This is where Jordan slips the scoring artist label. He was both spear and shield, the locksmith and the lock. The film is as cold as the numbers. 1998. Game 6-inch Utah before the shot that froze time. There's the quiet theft on Karl Malone's post-touch. The kind of anticipation that turns defense into destiny. With Jordan, stops weren't pauses between solos. They were the drumbeat under the melody. And because he guarded the last word, he also authored it. From the flu game, Jordan later called it food poisoning, to that last pull-up in Salt Lake City, he insisted on exiting the frame with a signature flourish. Game 5, 1997-38, on wobbling legs, and the go-ahead 3 in the final half minute. Delivered at altitude. Game 6, 1998. Steal, stroll, crossover, rise 5.2 on the clock, 6 banners in the rafters. LeBron has The Block, a defensive masterpiece that defines a series. Jordan built an anthology of finales that land like exclamation points, never ellipses. Those exclamation points ring louder when you remember the volume of the environment he played in. Don't flatten the eras. The late 82nd and 92nd were about hand checks, hips, and screens that felt like tectonic plates. Detroit wrote a manual, the Jordan rules, to hit, funnel, and swarm him. Today's perimeter is policed differently. The lane breathes where it once bristled. Jordan learned to float to 30, 35, 37 a night through that weather, then layered footwork and pace control to win when the air got thin. Or, as Ray Allen put it, as a kind of era translation, back then, if you flopped, they'd give you a real reason to fall. Drop that player into today's spacing and whistle. And 45 isn't a myth, it's a field report in friendlier conditions. And when a player bends the court like that, when he alters not just outcomes but the feeling of every minute the ripple leaves the court and keeps going. Jordan wasn't just an athlete, he was the face of a sport, the gravitational force that pulled the NBA across the planet. Barcelona 2092 lit the global fuse, with number 23 as its supernova. Back home, the Bulls didn't merely win, they reset altitude. 72, 10-inch 1995, 96 while leading the league in offense and defense in the same season. A dominance profile that reads like physics. Off the floor, the Jordan Nike blueprint didn't just sell shoes, it rewrote the playbook for athlete brands and global fandom. By the time he finally hung them up the second time, the league he left behind wasn't the league he entered. It was a new language. And for a generation, greatness was spelled with a 23. If you want me to tighten or soften any bridge, e.g. make operating system to defense, punchier, or degree of difficulty to total impact, more lyrical, say the word and I'll tune the cadence to match your video's pacing. So when you, an unforgiving viewer, sit down, what do you demand from a GOAT? Grand totals, durability, the power to elevate teammates, the knockout blow at the bell? Jordan checks all 4 boxes and adds a 5th. He turns great opponents into unwilling witnesses to their own undoing. Ray Allen was that witness on a night he did everything right, and the scoreboard still bled 45. LeBron deserves a spot stratospherically high on every list. He is the perfect answer to the question, how do you stay top 5 all time with inhuman steadiness? But if the question is, in the ugliest storm, who gets the keys? Then history and the men who've shared the floor have been whispering one name for a long time. Let's end the way Jordan always did. No promises, no pleas, no permission slips. Just a half-beat lull, a step left, a gather, a stop and pop, and all the data and all the feelings nod in unison. LeBron may be the tallest skyscraper in the age of analytics. Jordan is the one who makes the analytics stand and applaud the feeling. And in a sport where a single possession can freeze time, perfect timing is the ultimate power. If you're still unsure, try a simple test. Close your eyes and picture Game 7, 10 seconds left. Tie game, 1 shot to win. Whose hands hold the ball? If your heartbeat quietly taps out, Michael. That isn't nostalgia. That's the DNA of victory recognizing its own. And that is why, even as time erodes every argument, Michael Jordan remains the NBA's GOAT over LeBron, not because LeBron lacks, but because Jordan reached depths the rest can only watch from.